This is Kendra with Truest TV, guys. I'm back with another video in regards to Trump's national takeover, right? In his authoritarian position. And this is what he had to say. And we're going to give commentary. This is an each one teach one moment. This is for educational purposes only. We're going to go ahead.
Happening, and they've done it before. In addition, and placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that.
Look at them.
Very good people,
No, they're
but
not.
they're tough,
Terrorists.
and
Domestic terrorists.
they know what's happening, and they've done it before.
Right, they've done this before. And they've been a part of this demonic satanic ritual that they do all year long, where they're now going to gather up a whole bunch of black people and burn them, right, in this satanic ritual to sacrifice them to whomever God that keeps them in, or whatever, well, Satan, right, whatever deity they trying to worship that keeps them in power. That's what they really doing with these black bodies. That's what all these sacrifices is for. But I digress. Let's go on.
In addition, deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed
and
to...
my question is, because they were talking about poverty, and they were talking about homelessness, and they were talking about him trying to contribute, do this because of homelessness, and instead of him opening up shelters, which would defeat homelessness, you weaponizing, which you're not allowed to because the Fifth Amendment and the 14th Amendment, and I believe the Fourth Amendment, that basically stipulates that you're not allowed to weaponize the police or the army against civilians, right? So the Constitution was created so that the president and Congress members could not do that. But again, I guess the Constitution goes out the air when you have an agenda to dehumanize people or distract people from what you should have been doing in the first place, right? And so he's weaponizing the police, despite the fact that we know that America has a history of police brutality and of excessive force against brown-skinned folk. How are you going to crack down on criminal activity in the streets when you're just going to be killing and burning, right, a part of your ritual, a whole bunch of innocent black men, women, and children, and kidnapping black men, women, and children so you can use them in your rituals, right? How are you going to figure out who the criminal is, right? Isn't that whole point because they're going to make more criminals than there are, right? Because we know that's all cops really do in these neighborhoods, as they go apprehend black people for soliciting, or what is the word, when somebody just walking around the street is standing, right? That's what they really getting them for, just standing around. And they call it a criminal offense, robbing and raping. There was a white man in another video who said he been living in Washington, D.C. for 10 years, and he ain't getting robbed. He go to the deli all the time. Nothing happened to him. Are there crimes that are committed? Yes, by every racial group. White people are doing criminal activity. As a matter of fact, I was going to go and show how white people were doing criminal activity, and it's all over news, but they got a narrative, so they're going to paint the picture that they want you to do. This is Nazi. These people are Nazis. Talking about the Jews. These people are Nazis. This is exactly what Hitler did to the Jews. They use propaganda to dehumanize these people. They take away our protection. Make sure they go to areas where you're unprotected and don't got weapons, right? And then they put propaganda all over TV, dehumanizing you and making you a criminal as a way to then kill you and pacify themselves. And truthfully, the real reason why Trump is doing this is to distract citizens from the fact that he's not releasing them Epstein files. Oh yeah. He said in order to keep people from, and Congress agreed, from opening or desiring to have these Epstein files, what we are going to do is we are going to brutalize black folk, right? Because white people's desire to be better than them and to hurt and harm them unjustly and it be legalized is to weaponize the police force so it doesn't look like white supremacy. They have black mayors. They positioned all of this stuff so that people can't call call this what this is, and it is a distraction so that Trump does not have to release those Epstein files. And he always will use white supremacists to help him, because white supremacists is going to be distracted by trying to kill innocent black people and think they clearing up their city streets, when if they truly cared about clearing up their city streets, they would go down to your prosecutors, district attorney office, government officials who peddle crack cocaine in these communities, giving them to your young white and black men, big homies, and having these young men out here shooting and killing and selling drugs to, and having these children take fentanyl overdoses and all this stuff. If they really wanted to stop it, they go to the head first, because these black men ain't out here cooking up this crack. These white men are. They're the ones coming up with these new drugs and peddling them all over your inner city streets. But we're going to act like that's not happening, and we're going to act like y'all not using that money to fund the government and to fund all these infrastructures in these suburbs, and to fund the pockets of sheriffs and district attorneys and politicians. We're going to act like that's not happening, right? Because you don't want nobody to bring up the Epstein files. You want to distract people by brutalizing black people in your inner city streets, using militias such as the police department. We know that y'all all good old boys. We know that y'all all a part of the KKK. We know that y'all got several things going at once. You're trying to stop black people from saying who they are. You're trying to stop black people from telling the world they're American Indian. Also, while simultaneously trying to avoid the Epstein files, people talking about it, while simultaneously trying to create a sense of white supremacy, falsehoods, so that white people let their guard down and then you completely take over. We understand. We see it. We see it. And what we don't see, God will reveal. Best believe it. This has always been a part of distracting everybody. And they always use brutalizing black people, because now once people, they're going to say, damn, look at what the police doing to these, look what the police doing to these black people. Look what the police, now nobody going to ask about the Epstein files, because too many people thinking that they inner city streets are going to be rid of a whole bunch of black criminals. Meanwhile, there's 43 million black folk. Not nearly most of us are committing these crimes. 150,000, might I say, in the year 2025. And they trying to make you think that these criminal activities is happening everywhere. Not so. Not nearly. Even if they was like 5 million black people commit a crime, even if there's 43 million of us, that still leaves 30 some odd thousand of, that's 43 million. It still leaves over 30 some odd million of us that's not doing nothing at all but minding our business, going to work and doing what we have to do to support our families and take care of our families. You talk about a percentage, 54% of black people 54% of black people commit crimes, and only 45% of white people commit a crime. First and foremost, if 45% of white people are still committing a crime, that's a significant number. So your crimes aren't exonerated because somebody has you have a smaller, no, we don't have a small population. We're 43 million. So and counting, there's more than that, right? But that's the only ones that they're trying to say it's in America. We know how they do a lot of their enumerating, right? And so there's less white people, and yet their crime rate is at 45%. To take also in consideration that you will add Latinos and Hispanics into black, especially if they're dark skinned. You add them, Jamaicans, Haitians, and immigrants who are still here. You add their criminal offenses, and Africans as well, to ours. That's why our numbers are up. Because you're not looking at whether or not they're American. There's no crime statistics breaking down it really racially, right? It's just whites and then blacks. Don't matter. They not asking what black. Is it American black that's doing all this crime? Is it Africans? Is it Haitian? Is it Jamaicans? Is it Hispanic and Latino brown skin folk doing it? Nobody's saying that. They're just grouping us all together and saying it's just blacks. While white people, not being so diverse like us, make up 45% crime rate, right? which means you would do more crime than us. Because we got different ethnic groups being added to our statistics. Hello, somebody. But I digress. This is Kendra with Trust TV, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay up, stay blessed. Put God first above all else. Peace out. Bye.